Our next guest is one of my favorite players in the entire NFL. He made the move from Las Vegas to the Big Apple this offseason. He's set to become one of the New York Giants' biggest stars and this city's newest darling. Please give a welcome to Giants tight end, Darren Waller.
Hey, yo! Darren! How we doing?
Great, man. Appreciate you guys having me.
Do you like being called a darling by Peter? I mean, that's where it's looking.
I'll take it.
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely.
So many major life changes for you this offseason. Why don't you tell us? You got married to your wife, who's also an NBA star, Kelsey WNBA, sorry. And just 9 days later, you get the news that you're being traded from the Raiders to the Giants. Take us through that span of getting married to the love of your life, and then, oh wait, we got to move.
Yeah, I mean, it's adversity right out the gate, but I feel like at this point in my life, it's like I'm done resisting change. I feel like every place that I've gone, change that's happened has been good for me. It's brought the best out of me, and I feel like this move has done the same. It doesn't come without any like type of anxious emotion, like being that new kid in school, coming to a new team a little bit, but it's all worked out great for me so far.
Well, she's an absolute star. We're such a fan of hers and yours here on this show. We all know about your rise to stardom. We followed your path. You're in Baltimore. You become one of the league's top tight ends. Then you deal with an unfortunate injury that kept you out a lot of last season in Las Vegas. How are you feeling now physically and mentally heading into a new environment, new team?
I feel strong in both facets. Been able to put together a great offseason. Been out there every single practice for training camp, just being consistent and showing my teammates that they can count on me, that I'll be there, and it's just been a lot of fun to be on this journey so far with this team.
Awesome. Well, you look good, and I've had to cover you before, so I'm happy to be sitting at the table with you.
How'd that go?
Just push and run away from me.
Is that right?
But the push part, he had to push. I would have. That's why I retired. But you obviously were in Vegas. You were with Derek Carr, rise to stardom. Now you're with Daniel Jones. What has it been like building a connection with him to kind of you guys going into the first game and what that offense is going to be?
It's been a really cool relationship so far. Just ego removed from the jump, where we can both say, hey, this is what we would expect from each other on a certain route or timing-wise, and guys just be like, all right, we can translate it from the meeting or a conversation to the field really fast. I feel like that's why we've been able to have success so far.
No doubt. I love that you're joining the Giants so far. There's no warm-up game. There's no roll.
No.
It's like, let's get right. Your first game as a Giant, Sunday Night Football against the Cowboys. It's kind of cool because I know you grew up in Maryland and your family kind of appreciates these East Coast rivalries. What are your expectations for Giants-Cowboys and just really for the season for you as a New York Giant?
Yeah, it's really cool, like adding like the family element. Like my mom is a Washington fan.
Is that right?
In that area, and my dad is from New York, so he's a Giants fan. So it's a bit of like an anti-Cowboy household.
Yeah.
But it's also like in that you see how great the Cowboys have been, all the great players that have come from them. So it's cool to be able to immerse myself in that kind of rivalry and just start the year off with such a great opponent and you see where you're at.
You know that the Cowboys had a lot of success with the Giants in recent years. Does your coach lean into that at all, or has that not been the conversation this week in camp?
Oh, it's been brought up for sure.
Is that right?
Yeah, and rightfully so. You know, that's they've been setting the standard in the division as far as, you know, playing at a high level, having a lot of talent. Like that's the team that you got to beat to be able to say like you're the king in this division, and it's a sense of urgency around that.
One of the cool things, Darren, that we've loved watching about your development in the game is also your development off the field. You've been an advocate for those with mental health struggles. And next Tuesday, this is really amazing stuff, 8 p.m. Eastern next Tuesday, you're going to appear in a brand new episode of NFL 360 where you share in a conversation with former Ravens teammate and current Panthers tight end Hayden Hurst. It's one of the most powerful things you'll watch next week, and we have a moment for you from their dialogue, which involves Hayden recounting a pre-NFL experience when he was a pitcher in the Pirates farm system in Florida.
Whenever I got to Braden with the Pirates down there, it just, I don't know, it just kind of changed. Like, I started thinking of it as more of a job. I wasn't having fun. I was thinking about money. In my mind, I was the golden ticket for my family. I was going to provide. They're going to retire. I guess all that pressure started getting to me down there, and I just kind of lost it. It was wild, man. I'm almost 30 years old, and I still haven't figured out what the hell went wrong. Panics on the mound. My hands would shake. I'd want to throw up and want to be out there. And for me, it was terrifying because to my core, I love competing. I love dominating people. I love being the bigger man. I love showing it on TV. That's just how I'm wired. And for the first time in my life, I wanted to run.
It's different, right, if you have an injury and your career is over, or it's like something happens and it's like, okay, I know why, but you don't know why, and you don't the depression that comes with that. Like, how did you go about trying to cope with it, or make it make sense, or just continue on your journey, or just.
Well, the decisions that I made as far as coping with it were just, pretty immature. I started reaching for anything that I could get my hands on just to make that feeling go away.
You can catch Darren and Hayden's conversation when NFL 360 premieres next Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern right here on NFL Network. Darren, first of all, it's so helpful for people to see two professional athletes of your stature have a conversation that vulnerable, so thank you for doing that. What did that conversation in this episode mean to you to be a part of this?
It's a powerful conversation. I feel like conversations that need to be had amongst men specifically, because we have these tough exteriors. Just being in the NFL, we're seeing these macho men that, we just go out and perform and handle business, but, we're real human beings at the end of the day. And I feel like conversations like that, they may bring up emotions in us, like you saw on Hayden's face, but if it can inspire somebody else in their journey, then that's the best thing that could possibly happen.
And what was that process like for you? Because you have your own journey and you're sitting there and you're asking Hayden about his. Are there still emotions for you that come up when you're having that conversation?
Absolutely. And then I have emotions for him as well, because it's tough for him to speak on and come out and have this be like a national thing. So for him to have that type of courage, it's cool to be a part of with him. But yeah, it brings up emotions with me every time I talk about my story as well.
When you guys were teammates, did you guys have those conversations then? Did you guys ever connect when you guys had that relationship before all the conversations you had for this 360 piece?
Nah, and that was one of the first things I brought up in that conversation was like, we're these two guys that have our own journeys with these things that have happened in the same room and not even really knowing the depth of it. It's just wild.
There are viewers, there are NFL players just watching right now who maybe have something that they're ashamed of or embarrassed about, or they're caught up in the tough guy mentality. They're watching right now. What would you say to them?
I'll give them something practical, like see a therapist.
Is that right?
That's one of the most helpful things for me. It's something I still do. It just gives you an outlet to just dump all those things out, because if you carry them everywhere you go, you're going to carry them onto the field. That stress, that anxiety is going to follow you everywhere you go. So if you just have an outlet to just whatever it may be, however bad it may be, just get it out of you. It's going to help you just be a better player and a better man.
Speaking of things that you carry, I'm curious, do you carry pride with you when you walk into a new locker room now? Because you're such a different person than when you arrived in the NFL, now onto your third team. Is that one of those things that you carry as pride?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it would just be just knowing that I have an example for younger guys to follow. Because I've been drafted late, made a team, suspended multiple times, banned from the league, came back, signed 2 more contracts, and then been traded. So there's not really an experience in the NFL that I haven't
quite a resume.
felt or been through. So guys can look at me and be like, okay, like he's really been through things, highs and lows. So he just knows what I'm going through.
Do you have a lot of guys that'll come to you with maybe an issue or something that they're dealing with, knowing your story and seeing it? You and Max Crosby have done things and talked about it. Do you have guys now coming to you, especially young ones, asking for advice?
Yeah, I've had guys reach out to me because I guess they know, like, with what I've been through, I'm not going to be a guy that's going to go run and tell somebody their business or view them in any type of way just because I've been there and I feel for you. I'm not going to tell you that you're doing something wrong or you need to tighten up. Like, what are you thinking? I've been there, so I feel you, so I'm going to help you in any way I can help get out of it.
What would you tell a young player who's like, I check my mentions on social media and they're crushing me, I dropped a pass, or they're telling me I shouldn't be on the team? I think that's such a big prevalent thing in today's society with youth and, of course, professional athletes. What would be your message to that young man?
It's tough because if you place your identity in what other people say about you, you're setting yourself up to fail because there's no telling. Like, I mean, you got a guy like Devontae Adams was my teammate. Like, this dude is an absolute freak. But if you drop one pass, if you don't catch one route, it's like, and your identity's placed in that, you're going to forget all the good things that you've done. And so I just tell him, like, who you are is where your identity should come from, not necessarily your performance.
You can see why it's an incredible asset to have a guy like this in the locker room, of all you provide in leadership and everything. Also, he's an incredible player.
Yes.
I mean, like, I'll take that aside, an amazing playmaker. So you're going to start this new journey as a New York Giants. Your guy in the huddle, your field general, is Daniel Jones. You played with a lot of different types of quarterbacks. What do you see from this guy? Like, tell us something about him. He doesn't say much, but he's got a cool presence. What's he like?
Yeah, presence definitely stands out. He's very composed, very confident, I mean, you talk about the cliche hardest worker in the building. Like I see it. Like, and he's like strong. He's tough. He's not just a good athlete, a great athlete, and that really stands out. The way he's zipping the ball around with confidence. Like you can tell, like the way his Twitter mentions before may have been like people on his head, but somebody that's just stayed the course, not really focused on that noise, and has been able to continue to just get better year after year.
All right, so with your arrival to the show, the Giants also sent along some gifts for us. If it's free, it's for us, apparently. We each received this T-shirt with a slogan on it. Be Giant. You're going to be wearing this Sunday Night Football, perhaps, during warm-ups or whatnot. What's the message behind that campaign this year?
The Be Giant campaign, it stems from Coach Dable and Shane, the GM. They preach smart, tough, dependable, and qualities like that about being a Giant. And then for me, it's like being Giant is just like standing tall, standing firm, whatever may come your way. If things aren't going your way, if you're maybe in a tough spot, like just standing firm and not running, not trying to make excuses or blame anybody, but just staying strong and fighting your way through.
Word is that the Giants fans might be rocking this one as well.
What do we got?
And that there is going to be a blue out. Week 1, let's go. Everyone in blue. Cowboys are in the building. When you look up for your first time being a New York Giant in a regular season game and MetLife Stadium is rocking to hear Darren Waller's name called on that loudspeaker, how's it going to feel?
Just overwhelmed with gratitude, probably something I can't really put into words, that I still am able to do this and to be a part of a franchise like this in a moment like that. Those things never get old.
Look at this guy.
All right, so Darren, you wear a lot of different hats. It's very impressive. Earlier this week, we were reading this promo about something going on with the NFL called crowd control. So we're reading this list of players who are involved in Interscope, Geffen, A&M Records, and EA Sports, and they're going to bring us the first ever EP featuring NFL players. You're on this list. You have musical roots. Tell us about your involvement with this project.
So it's a pretty crazy story. They had a career day, kind of like the broadcasting boot camp, and it was for Interscope Records, and they basically show you all the careers that you can have in music post-career, and at the end of the day, they open the studio up. And for an hour, basically to show guys the studio, you can kind of hang out in there, but there's some of us were like plugging laptops up, playing beats.
For real?
And I was about to go to the airport in like 15 minutes, and they gave me the aux, and I played a beat, and they had a songwriter, and they were like, "Nah, load that up immediately."
Yes.
And I was like, "Oh my God!" Like, and we started making music, and I canceled my flight, stayed there, and we made some more songs. And they were like, "We're gonna see if we can like turn this into something," because they have a relationship with EA Sports, and it kind of just spread from there.
You were the inspiration
Who else
for
stood
crowd
out there?
control. That's so cool.
Looks good.
Ray McLeod was out there. Teron Armstead's on some tracks. Melvin Ingram's on some.
That's awesome.
It's
In the Madden game?
Yeah, they uploaded.
This is insane. How cool is that?
Great.
Oh my gosh. So let me ask you this: the aux cable. What if you were to hand it to your head coach?
Ooh.
How would that go?
What's he playing?
What's Brian Dable doing?
He's playing. What's the name of the Drake Rick Ross song?
The Maybach music. Which one?
What? Is it where Drake comes in? He's like, "Where do I really even start?"
Darren, I would love to help you.
But that's his jam. He's always trying
Seth, scream it out.
right?
What do we got?
Money in the grave.
Money in the grave.
Money in the grave.
Big
Money
Drake
in the grave.
fans in
As soon as
here.
that song comes on, he getting his bag. Yeah.
Brian Dable's playing Money
Drake.
in the grave. That's his
he getting
thing?
his bag when that song comes on.
Remember he was dancing to Juicy in the locker room.
Yes.
That was last year.
Let's get into Dable. Like, give us. You show up, you meet him. What's the guy like? How's it been?
Energy through the roof, man.
Yeah?
A guy that's like very conscious of creating an environment where players can really be excited about showing up to work every day. Whether it's the team meeting room, they're playing trap music in the team meeting room.
Okay.
He'll call guys up to play a 2-minute drill on Madden at the end of the meeting. Like just things that just make guys
just compete.
like laughing, competing, smiling.
gosh.
But he's also like intense and holding you to a high standard as well. So you get both of those sides. It just creates a great culture.
Oh my God.
We have a guy here on the show, Sean O'Hara, former Super Bowl legend for the New York Giants. He came on this show, and in a throwaway comment was like, "I think Darren Waller can catch 120 balls this year." And we were all like, "Slow down, slow down."
a lot of balls.
And then I'm like,
Don't.
Darren Waller's pretty good.
Yeah.
What are your expectations for this season?
I mean, historically for me, I've always just taken it on a week-to-week basis. And it's like every opportunity they throw me the ball, if I present myself open and make a play on the ball and catch it, those things kind of stack up and let the numbers kind of take care of themselves.
Oh my God.
120 times. Just throw it his way.
Yeah.
And let him stack
What does that
up.
break down?
Let's go.
10 a game? Okay, cool. I think you can tally it. Darren Waller, congratulations, honestly, on everything that you've accomplished. It sounds like there's more to come. Catch your episode on NFL 360 Tuesday, 8 p.m. A great moving conversation. Yes. And also your tracks are going to be on Madden. That's so cool. You are everywhere, my friend.
How about this? Give it up for Darren Waller. Unbelievable. What a guy.
Cool. So
What a guy.
Good luck. Stay healthy. We'll see you out there this season, all right?